It's Kamiko.
Nikki.
And it's Marcia, and welcome to the LoveChat Podcast.
Hello, hello. For those of you who are out there listening to us on our podcast, or those of you who are watching us on our new YouTube channel, we are back for a quick conversation, also known as a Minisode. And so for those of you who are new and just joining the ladies of the LoveChat Podcast, our Minisodes are a good conversation, also known as the heart-to-heart. And sometimes we mix in a little sunshine, sometimes we mix in a little shade, but we always mix in a little love. Love. Somebody could sing Love by Music. That would be good.
Love.
Right.
I was thinking more Keisha Cole.
Okay.
That's ooh. I like that song though, but
Right.
Well, what's the rapper that was singing it too?
Yeah.
Can we get back to what we're supposed to be? Okay.
I'm sure they're singing along too. I mean, hey. Right. So in the words of today, y'all just have to forgive us, okay? Today we're talking about little fires everywhere.
Yes.
If you have not seen the show, I'm gonna go ahead before we even get started with our quote and tell you that there will be spoilers. So if you have not made
definitely
all the
episode
spoilers.
8, you're about to hear all the spoilers. So let's go ahead and kick it off. The quote is, sometimes you need to scorch everything to the ground and start over. After the burning, the soil is richer and new things can grow. People are like that too. They start over and they find a way.
Every time.
Every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So Reese Witherspoon, Kerry Washington. This is an adaptation from a book because it's not the exact same thing as the book, right?
Right.
I will confess I never read the book. And for those of you
I
who are
have the
watching,
book.
don't judge my broken nail.
Have you read it?
I haven't because I wanted to watch the show before I read it, but they said that the book ends different, totally different from the show.
Correct.
So I'm like, okay, now I can read it. Yeah.
I already know who started the fire in the book, and it's different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
right, so that's the way that the show or this season, because I'm gonna take because I am prayerful that we're going to have multiple seasons, right? So that's the way that the season kind of opens up. They haven't confirmed multiple seasons yet.
I wonder why would they say season 1? Like there will be.
I think they leave it open ended.
Yeah. But they're saying it's a strong possibility that there's going to be a season 2.
Well, look, and what was the other show that was on HBO? What was the show that was on HBO with Reese Witherspoon, Laura Dern?
Oh, yeah.
Zoe Kravitz. It was only supposed to be one season too.
Oh,
because of the
Big
popularity.
Little Liars.
Yeah.
And because of the popularity, they were able to get everybody else together.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be something like that too.
Exactly.
So Nikki said that you read the book, right, Nikki?
No, I said I'm going to read the book. I'm getting the book.
Oh,
yeah.
Even though I already know the differences, because I read what they.
Of course, you did, right? But this season kicks off with Reese Witherspoon standing there because her home has been burnt to the ground, and the fireman says, somebody set your house on fire while you were in it. There were little fires everywhere. Do you know who did it?
Yeah.
And I had all these suspicions the whole time.
Right, because it started off like that. So you're thinking, so when the show starts, you're thinking, okay, she definitely could be one that burned it. Right. Wait, he might have burned it. You know what I mean? So
it felt like everybody was a suspect for sure. Everybody had motives.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved and hated so many characters in this show.
Yeah, I agree.
It was so. First of all, kudos to Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington because I think they have done phenomenal jobs. Kerry in her mouth and all her facial expressions were here for us.
She always gonna have them facial expressions,
right? And the person who we can't even get to it, but the person who played her when she was younger, amazing job. I don't even remember her name, but
she was on the Shy.
She's on the Shy,
yeah, she's from the Shy,
yeah. She was good as Carrie. She did.
I think both of the actresses that played the younger Kerry and the younger Reese.
Reese.
Good.
And did you notice how they tried to basically capture some of their facial expressions and just the way that they talked and things like that? I was like, oh, she sounds just like Kerry.
That's
good.
It was good.
Everybody was good. The children were just, oh my gosh, amazing child actors. I mean, it's everybody. Look, even Pacey was good. Y'all remember Pacey?
Yes,
that is what he was on.
Oh yeah,
y'all know he just had a baby with the girl from
Queen of Slim. Yeah,
they just had that baby. The lead girl, and yes, child, yes, they are married.
Yeah, they're married.
Pacey is married to.
I think after he did the movie with Ava,
you see it.
You saw the
you see it.
I mean, he's a cutie.
Yeah. And he loved him some her, and she loved her some him. They just had a baby.
I wish somebody would love things to me.
Because he was in a relationship years before that. To name what's the actress name, and they didn't get married. They was getting old. But when I was going off on, I said, "Okay, Pacey," because I didn't call him Bill on Little Fires.
Right.
I said, "Pacey."
Right.
I couldn't remember his name from Dawson's Creek.
Pacey. Yep, I remember that. I don't remember his name on here, but I remember Pacey.
Yeah.
So if we can, let's try to go back.
Okay.
To the first episode.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying, let's kind of talk.
We gotta do overarching.
Yeah, let's kind of talk our way through.
Okay.
Because this is one of those. It didn't come out all at one time, so we've been watching this over a course of 8 weeks. So
has it been that long?
Yes.
I mean, it came out once. No, not 8.
Some of
like 2 or 3 came out, then like 3 more. And
no, 3 came out first,
and then it was just one after that.
Right.
5 weeks.
So okay. So Mia, rolling up in this blue Chevette,
girl,
and I was like, immediately, oh, she's running from something, and the flashbacks to the train with what's his name?
My boy Avery.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. Jesse.
With Jesse, made me think that he had maybe she was a victim of domestic violence or something had happened. Like that's what my initial thoughts were. I was like, oh my God.
I was thinking he had raped her or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, he's trying to kill her. Like every time. That's what I thought.
I just didn't know what it was, but it just didn't feel right. And it didn't feel like, for me, it didn't feel like the domestic violence thing. It felt like she was guilty of something.
But see, I didn't feel like she was guilty at first.
I always feel that way about Kerry Washington.
In episode 1, they did a flashback because they were showing her, little Pearl was in the car and she was a sex worker. So then I was thinking maybe she got pregnant through her prostitution. So or maybe he was her pimp or something.
Right.
So
I just couldn't quite figure it out. Couldn't pin it down. It felt, for me in the beginning, all of it, especially watching those first 3 together, it just felt so all over the place. It all came together to make sense perfectly. Yes. But I was just like, okay. Right.
But I will say in the beginning, I was kind of, I don't know, my heart kind of went out to Kerry Washington's character because Elena was such a biatch. Like she just was this perfect Patty. And it just drove me crazy.
But she was a perfect Patty in a very perfect town that was designed to be this way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like she knew what she was going back into, which is why she left Jamie, probably the love of her life, who had a little bit of swag too. He had a little bit of swag with the glasses. Okay. She left Jamie to come back because she was like, I want to go here. Like she knew she wanted this career in journalism because she wanted to be a writer and all these things. But at the same time, she wanted it, I felt like, in this box. Like it needed to look
it was expected of her to come back, right? Like this wasn't just like her choice. She was expected to come back. Her
because
mother
of her
had
mom.
Expectations.
Right.
All those things. So it wasn't just, I want this. My mother did this. I'm going to do this. My children are going to do this.
Right.
That's it.
Like she was trying to be a big fish in a small pond too. Like she was going to be like, New York is too big. She might not, but if she didn't take her, she going to be the biggest journalist, editor of the Shaker Times and whatever. But,
right. Elena with the Shaker Times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's why she didn't want to leave. It was too scary for her. It was too unknown. Then she regretted it.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that I felt that way. I felt like because she was already in Paris, so she was traveling or whatever. I just felt like Kamiko said her mom had certain expectations of her, the same way that she put all those expectations onto her kids, just kept rolling that on down.
Well, not all of her kids, and that's a whole nother problem. But yeah.
The one she wanted.
Exactly.
But I think she put those expectations on all of them because even with Izzy, she just would never stick to those. The rest of the kids fell in line.
Yeah.
She would not fall in line. She
always went against the grain.
Of her, but she just wouldn't. That's it. She always went against. It felt like from birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see. I don't think that she had the same expectations of Izzy. I think that she was doing any and everything to avoid conversation, and like it was almost like if she didn't have to talk to her, she didn't want to. The way she spoke to her was completely different. Her tone, how she respected Izzy was completely different with regard to all the other kids. Like, even that scene when Izzy's like, everybody else has a nickname, Moody, Trick, Lexi, and you're insistent upon calling me Isabel when I just want to be called Izzy. And it was just, and then of course in the last couple episodes, she was like, I hate being your mom. I never wanted.
Think about this though. Remember when Izzy dressed up and she had her hair and she was like, "Oh, hallelujah!" She was ready to I think from birth, they showed Izzy crying all the time, and it just she treating her this way now because of 14 or 15 years of her just not getting along.
And because she didn't want another child,
she didn't want another child.
She didn't want another child, and then it would have been different. I think if it was
easy.
It was an easy child, right?
If she had been one that fell in line, it would have been.
She could have grown to love her. It would have been okay, but she just. It was like she knew in her soul, this ain't gonna go well.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It was like she manifested this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything that she could possibly think of that did not go along and conform with the Richardson family was Izzy. She's gay. She's a little rebel. She is not going to be a traditional.
She just won't do what she's told.
In the box.
Right.
Yeah. Whew, child.
Conversely, we have Pearl, who seems to be just the perfect, sweetest daughter.
Right.
She loves her mama. She loves her mama Mia with everything. They are just like best friends, mother-daughter relationship, and it really seemed to be just a beautiful thing.
A genuine, beautiful relationship. They just grew together.
It was just the two of them. Right. The song. It was just traveling, picking up. Okay, it's time to move again. Oh, because my mom's an artist and she needs to move around. So I'm embracing this kind of,
Well, that's the only life she knew.
Yeah, but I felt like she was really, taking it in and okay, this is what I got to do. This is, my mom needs me to, be okay with this to some degree. I felt like that's what Pearl was. But then she gets to Shaker and she's like, her mom had told her they could stay. So she's expecting to kind of grow some roots here.
Yes.
And have 4 walls instead of 1.
Yes. Yes, that definitely made me cry that day she said that, because I was but Pearl, what was also weird but interesting to me is how much these families intertwine so quickly.
Yeah.
So I was like, the scene where Elena tries to get Mia to start working for her.
Right. Well, I think Elena was really trying to be, Captain Save 'em All at first, because that's just who she was. She was always trying to, in her mind, help someone at all costs, no matter the cost, I guess. And that's what she thought. She thought she was helping her.
She did.
Right.
She
did help her, I guess.
She definitely did.
But that's why Bill got mad at her. He said, it was you. She's like, well, she appeared to be a single mother down on her luck. And I just, help her.
Exactly.
But I think from his standpoint was but did you do your due diligence, number 1? And number 2, oh goodness, here she goes taking on another charity case.
And right.
And Bill was like, why do I got to cut the grass? You said that's their job. Remember, she told him, she said, go cut the grass.
Yeah. And then I also thought that not only were they like kind of her charity case, but then she had this friend over here who had adopted this baby. All of these people who were intertwined in this story. She had adopted this Asian baby that was left at a fire station?
Mm-hmm.
And then miraculously, Mia is working with an Asian lady who has a baby who she left where? At a fire station. It's just like, okay. But I felt like it was really masterful the way that they started to bring all those things together. It was like, oh, no.
I was mad. I was a little mad. I was mad at me. I was like, that was so dirty.
And then I was like, and if you're going to do something like that, don't leave your car. Now they're going
to leave. No, she let her use the car.
That's what I'm saying.
She drove there in her car. Right.
I was just like, girl, why did she get so involved? And I was just like, but you know what made me really mad about Mia? And I think I told y'all in group chats before that when she decided to sell that picture,
the painting,
she had access to money all that time, and she allowed them to suffer. But you gonna pay somebody legal fees you don't know? I was like,
yeah.
Man, she really made me.
But maybe she didn't feel like they were suffering. She said, "You always had enough. We always had enough." You know, Pearl wanted more, and Mia was like, "We've always had enough."
She wanted more. I think she was right. Exactly.
Right. Stability is not too much to ask for of a child.
No, you're absolutely right. But
it could have been a 2-bedroom apartment. She was happy with that.
Right.
Girl was happy. It was just she wanted her own room, and every once in a while, get something that wasn't from the Goodwill.
But the other part of that too is I felt like Pearl felt like, this is all we have, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
We have each other, and that's fine. But to know that not only that you had this money, that we didn't have to be dumpster diving and sleeping in our car and all these other things, but you just gave it away that we don't even know.
Yes.
And then she didn't even win the court case.
So now all our money gone for nothing.
Well, I was very grateful that the writers did give us, or for me, that we heard Mia say, I think I was using the money or gave her the money to justify why I kept you. I mean, she didn't say those exact words, but I was glad to hear her say that.
Yeah.
Eventually we realized that's what she was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Said it to her, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then when she was just saying, she's not your mother, I'm sitting up here like there are thousands, millions of children that are adopted around the world.
Right.
All the time. Like you, that don't make you just that is not the thing that just makes you a mother just because you birth a child.
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't.
Right, because to that point, she left her child in the freezing cold. And I understand she might have had postpartum and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you did. You left your child in the cold. And like that lady said, she had been her mother for over a year, longer than you had been her mother.
Right.
So the baby didn't even, doesn't even recognize, have any feelings or whatever, doesn't know you as her mom. But
they tried to insinuate it at the end, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, ain't no baby gonna be like, you.
But
yes.
So going back to that whole
exactly.
Court case and that cross-examination, when they were asking her, well, why did you check white on the adoption papers? I was like, ma'am, no, you didn't. I just, obviously we didn't know that, right? But at that point, I thought, oh, this is gonna go differently. Like, I didn't think that
because she checked white. Because most people don't check what they are. I mean, that's just
right.
I know, but I think at that point in the show and the cross-examination, I thought that maybe we were gonna see BB actually get the baby.
No, because Pacey said at the beginning, the BBs of the world do not win, and that was a foreshadowing moment. That was like she ain't gonna win no matter how good of a case. And
right.
The child stuff, like they proved that she probably was in the best interest of the child.
Oh,
BB.
Really? I didn't feel that way.
You didn't?
No.
Well, I just felt like, but it was easy for me to say that now, but I'm a big believer in adoption. So, but it was just all the stuff they were hitting them on, like all the.
So the cultural stuff while I certainly believe is super important, that is not quite enough for me to give you back to somebody that left you on the doorstep. I'm sorry, in the freezing cold. And it wasn't like you came back to figure it out. You knew you left her, or maybe she said she couldn't remember.
She did. No, she said she went back and begged them, and they told her that they didn't know where the baby went, and she said she kept going back, and they told her they didn't know. So she said she did go back. She did try. She said she started just looking on her own.
But her circumstances really didn't change, because that part of the story.
That's my other question. Like, okay, maybe your mental space is better, but how are you going to take care of this child?
I was so concerned because, you know, she couldn't even feed the baby, and that was so sad because she didn't have enough money. And I was like, oh, that baby gonna die, like starved to death. And so I was like,
and shame on that man at the store. You seen that lady needed that stuff for that baby, and you just gonna talk about she 25 cents short or however many cents.
Oh, that made me so sick.
Right, because it'd be different if she was $50 short, and even still, if somebody's struggling and you can't help them but a quarter, like, give me a break.
Let her have visitation so she could still have a connection.
And that's where it threw me, because I was kind of like Kamiko. I was kind of like, you know, of course money is not everything, but you know that child was going to have a better life where she was. I felt like there was a connection between the white lady, I don't know her name, and the baby, because, you know, she started calling her mama and all that kind of stuff. So there was that connection. So at first I was kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe she needs to stay with them. But then when they finished the court case and she goes out there and they were like, well, are you going to allow a relationship with the biological mother? And she was like, her husband basically cut it off, like, basically, no. We done with this. You know,
well, I mean, look, I was fine with it.
Kamiko was just cut throat.
No, but because honestly, I don't know. This person may or may not be stable.
Yeah.
Clearly, she is unstable.
You could have
clearly. By the end of this show, we find out she's clearly unstable. Left the child.
But I know that mama was right. I know she is. She wanted to get up and check on that baby. She gonna blame the husband. That'll be in season 2.
Is, for real.
Let her cry. I was like, she gone.
I knew when she was. I was like,
where they security at? I know it's the 90s, but
it was 91.
Systems, beep beep. Where are they? Doors and windows.
91 though.
No,
there was
98. 91 was when they was little, because you know they did that flashback and they was at the little lemonade stand and that was It's 97 or 98, but they had some.
They had alarm systems then. We had.
Everybody so easily can get in their house like that. I'm just.
Let's switch gears for a second.
Or maybe they didn't because they were in Shaker and it was a nice community where nobody.
Things like that don't happen here.
Open. Right.
They left their doors open at night.
Invisible sense of security.
Yes.
Let's talk about my friend Moody. Because I felt like he really liked Pearl. He got her a bike.
He did.
Pearl, like Easy said, just because you bought her a bike,
right?
You don't own her,
right?
I was like, okay.
But he did really like her.
He did.
They did mishandle the situation, but that's why teenagers aren't really mature enough to handle all this love stuff.
Exactly.
But Pearl knew from the beginning, boo, Moody is cool, we friends, but that brother,
I snapped.
And she was in the classroom. She was in the class looking at him.
Right, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. A little class so she could be in that with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she wanted to be in that cool kids club, you know. It's like I'm a brainiac, she's been the brainiac or whatever, and Moody was cool as a friend, but she wanted to be in that cool kids club. That's why she was with what's the little Lexi, little hot but
right. Right. Yeah, let's talk about Lexi and her boyfriend.
I got this boyfriend. We are the it couple, and you want a trip? Let me do what it takes. In the back of to keep you.
I was so over her.
Please understand that don't work, girls.
Yeah, don't work. But it don't work. But she said, "Oh, okay."
He was like, "You problematic." Every time you say something, I'm just like, "Oh, these things are not." I don't.
I was really rooting for his little character because he was calling her out. He was like, "You think that's okay?" Like she just stole this girl's story.
And your mama tell me every time I walk through these doors that she marched with Dr. King. Thank you. What have you done since then?
Exactly.
And she feels, but there are a lot of white people that feel that way. Like, oh, my daughter has a black boyfriend.
I have a black friend.
We're not racist.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
but you
not
saw
biased.
at the end when Izzy, or not Izzy, Lexi was crying, how she was like, "Oh, you'll find somebody more suited for you,
better suited
suited."
Yeah, and
I was like, I've been tolerant,
whistle.
but this cannot go on. Like, I think she was just like, look, you're going to be going. I think she was like, this can work. There's nothing wrong with it per se, but eventually you're going to part ways, and you're going to find somebody, and I'm going to put you in this box like my mother put me in a box.
You're going to find somebody like Bill.
Yep.
He's going to be a lawyer, and he's going to work this, and he's going to do this, or he's going to be a doctor.
Yeah. But yeah,
but I did want to snatch I did want to snatch Lexi's behind up when she was at that clinic and put down Pearl's name. I was like,
girl, are you for real? Is this really happening?
Right. She was just using that poor girl.
Well, Mia tried to tell Pearl.
She
did.
She
realized that, that when Lexi came over, but Mia went off on Lexi. She was like, I'm being nice to you, but
she was like, and wash your own dish.
Yep.
Right. It's not your house. I'm not
but
picking
I
up
love,
in my house.
Speaking of that portion, I loved when Elena thought she had something and gonna march over there like she about to spill all this tea.
Her Bob.
It was like,
right.
Quiet as it's kept. It was your boo-boo, your daughter.
Okay.
But in that moment, it was like, like, oh shit. And then I think she also realized in that moment that, like, even though Elena was always out to get Mia, like once we saw that twist and like she was doing all this investigation and trying to figure out stuff, she realized, oh, this, and you didn't even use it against me when you had plenty of time to do so.
Yeah.
I think
she kind of got stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah,
because her face was like, okay, wait.
I just thought that she was like on the verge of a breakdown.
Yeah, and not my Lexi, my perfect mold that I've created. But but it was interesting how Elena tried to weaponize abortion with BB, but then I'm so this and this, and then try to use it against Pearl as well. But when it's when it was her, or when she's working with other people, it's your choice.
Right.
Because she just is not a good person. I mean, she's unstable too.
When Bill had propped his feet up and he was smoking that cigarette, and he said,
I know she didn't pay for this.
And then she said,
well, she had said she was going to pay for dinner because he had gotten her the information.
Yeah, but a $200 dinner with a whole bottle of wine or champagne.
And what did Bill say? And what about 15? What about 15 years ago? She said, I'm a good person.
He's like, I'm going to get me a pacifier.
Right.
But nothing ever happened. I don't understand why she didn't say nothing happened.
That's all she had.
But here's the question. 15 years ago, did something happen? I mean, are you really, first of all.
They just made out, though.
Right, but are you really going to go home and confess to your husband, okay, listen, we didn't have sex, but he did. We were about to have sex in the hotel room, like.
But the fact is, she did not tell him, I guess. And she didn't tell him 15 years ago, and now you turn to this person again. And he knew that was her high school or love or whatever. And
maybe Pacey, a.k.a. Bill, always knew that he was second choice. And he always knew that he was playing second fiddle to this guy.
Because they were awesome.
And so then he's like, okay, look, I might be your second choice, but look what I have given you. Look what I have done.
Right.
Look what I have sacrificed. Even with this court case, you tried to jack that up. Here I come, saving the day with that. And you out here literally about to screw it up.
But he went off, and then she was just like, I gave up everything for you. And then he said he gave up everything for her.
But you know what? I felt like at first I was kind of Team Bill.
Yeah, but
he went in there and went off on Izzy the way he did.
Oh, that made me mad.
Made me furious because I was thinking he knows that mama is crazy, but people too. So
I just felt like, I mean, because I was Team Bill also, but I felt like in that moment, because he's human like all of us, I think he was about to go through a nervous breakdown. Everybody was just about to break down. And he's like, look, but like she said, because what's her name? Izzy. She called him out too, when he said, just be quiet, keep your head down. She was like you doing? Basically.
Right.
But
I mean, it's kind of one of them things where you hope that if you have a mama like Izzy, that maybe she becomes like a daddy's girl or daddy's favorite or something like that.
Well, and he did for the most part.
I felt like she was.
He always spoke up for her and, like leave her alone or whatever and all that kind of thing. So I felt like he was. I just think at that point, he was just fit to be tied of all of them.
It was displacing her, and he took it out on her because he's wife, but it was still one good time.
Right. So, I mean, it was a really fragile time for his child,
but poor
you
Izzy,
chose this life. She didn't.
Izzy has never had this relationship with her mother. Lord Jesus, she got all dolled up at the concert. She's got this range of emotions with this former girlfriend who really has been doing her wrong. But I think is like
at that time and that age, that was the 90s. So
right. Yeah. Let me tell you that one thing though. When Elena forced her to take that Christmas picture, and Elena then thought she had the perfect picture, and Bill informed her to that thing again, and she cut her out.
Her daughter out. I'm like, why she didn't just cut the finger off? Like, why would you cut
or just use the old pictures they already had? They didn't have to have that Yale shirt. Just because old girl got into Yale, she wanted to retake the pictures, but they already had pictures.
She literally cut her out and threw her in the trash.
I mean, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I even said
now,
that.
when
she
that
brought
happened,
that back up.
When that happened, Lord, my broke down fingernail. When that happened, I thought that because Izzy had watched Mia with the fires, I thought Izzy was going to use the pictures of herself to set the fires in the house. That's what I thought at that time. And I was like, oh, this is how the fire is gonna happen.
Yeah. So we got to sum this up. So what do you guys think? Overall, I know we love the show.
Yes.
But what's your last?
And I feel like, I don't know if you're watching this, if you're like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Because we bounced all, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
You need to go watch it. It's a lot.
Because we haven't, what happened? Oh, the last episode, because I was thinking, like with siblings, Lexi, her and Izzy would be at each other's throats, but when her mom said that,
they had to step in like,
she was
what?
Yeah.
Take it back, fix it. I was like, and then Moody was like, I love you and don't leave. I was like, oh gosh.
Girl, I was a mess.
I had to cry.
It was so interesting how, like, we've never.
That's how siblings are. It don't matter if you get
push come to shove. We might not get along, but you ain't gonna do her like that.
You ain't gonna.
And at the same time, that was the first time we had ever seen them all come together like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? It made me sad because Izzy wasn't there to see how they rolled for her. Yeah. Like literally rolled for her. And she, doesn't know that that's what happened,
right.
But it's also interesting that her and Pearl seemingly wanted to switch places with each other.
Yeah.
Pearl wanted a mom like Elena.
Very good observation.
She wanted, more of a normal, what she thought would be a normal life. And then who realized that maybe like this is not right, and what we're doing is not real. But this feels very authentic to me over here. It's a space where I can be myself, somebody who accepts me and loves me and some understands, because Mia had been in a relationship with, what's the lady's name? Priscilla, Patricia? Yeah, Pauline. So, yes. So Mia understood what Izzy was going through. Yeah.
Right. That's a whole nother subject.
I thought that was interesting.
She was like in her 40s and Mia was 18 or something.
I knew day one. I said, oh, this is not.
Yeah, I was like,
supposed to go.
That chemistry was something.
Right. But I was thinking at the end, like, okay, so now they done picked up what? She gonna go with him? Maybe they
was a dream.
That was a dream.
Oh, was it a dream?
It was a dream.
I thought it. So that I was like, I have so many questions because. Did they really pick her up? Because
okay, I didn't. Oh, maybe I missed that part.
It was
so okay. So
But-
remember,
on the bus.
Mia said to Pearl, "We can
she
go
got on the bus?
anywhere." Yeah, she said we can go anywhere.
I
She didn't
know.
wanna
I
go
seen it.
before. She said, "I know I won't want to go, right?" But they had to drop off the key because remember, Mia.
Yeah.
Gotta go,
Okay.
right? But she runs out into the street and she's just standing there.
Okay, we got that part. I'm talking about when they picked her up.
They didn't really pick her up. She dreamed
I guess
that.
I seen her wake up from a dream, but I thought she was in the back seat of their car. I didn't realize.
Look in season 2.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
They tried
I didn't see it was a bus.
It was inconclusive, but she was at the end. She was on the bus. She did not go with them.
Okay, I didn't.
I'm gonna have to go back and look too because I was
Me too.
Because the thing that made me think that she wasn't with them was when they got to the house. I was like, so they just not gonna talk to Izzy at all? Is she still asleep? Like, what's going on? She must not be back there.
That's what I was thinking.
But she was on the bus.
Well, and
Now I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Where she gonna go? She needed some adults.
I was a little confused by Pearl wanting to go to her grandparents because in what they showed off of the show, over her dad, because we never heard Mia talk about her parents, Pearl's grandparents, to Pearl. So I'm like, so why did she make the choice to want to go there first? And then Mia lets her go up to the door by herself. Like, they don't even know, they have no idea what you look like. So you go roll up and go,
Maybe it's something that they just didn't show. Maybe she called them or something like that.
Yeah,
it might have been because she talked about the brother and she said her parents, they disowned her. So who knows?
But speaking of phone call or conversation, old girl with the cute wig, the mama, the birth mother, right?
Right.
She knew it was Mia. When Mia was on that phone breathing, she was like, Mia.
Right. But
Harvey, she's one of I like her. She's a good actress. But yeah.
But in the end, Elena realized, that is her child. She loved her. She was, running around looking for her. But what got me is when she got to their first little house and how she had everyone's height at 1 year old except for Izzy. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, where she was looking at the door frame and she was looking at their heights, and because I didn't realize that it wasn't Izzy, but I saw it was 3 of them, and I thought maybe they had left by that time.
They had left because when Izzy, they were at that house and Izzy was a baby.
Yeah, because Izzy was a baby because they were doing construction, right? That's why she didn't have water. Yeah,
that's true too. But I guess because it just still kind of touched you that it was
because that's
only the 3.
And she's just like, those are only 3 kids I cared about.
Well, and interesting too, like, so of course Mia left that flower scene. Of course she is rushing us, but
yeah, we really have to wrap this up, ladies.
That flower scene, but she saw the clip of the bird. Come on, y'all.
The feather.
Yeah. And she immediately, says Izzy.
Because she knew it was I
also think, which I don't know that we've said explicitly here, that we really did not talk about. We talked about a little bit like the Nika Noni roles, like her being in college and being an artist, and her professor, and how her brother died and she needed the money to stay in school, so she carried a child for a couple.
Yep.
Her egg and his sperm. Is that right?
So who's the parents? So, I mean, because it seems like they didn't do that through a service. They just went and picked up somebody off the street.
But I wonder if they had paperwork. But I think that paperwork doesn't take effect until you sign it after the baby is born.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how that all works.
And especially, but basically she's still kidnapped. But she told him that the baby was dead?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
And I wonder, did she have to pay back the money?
She said she was going to.
She said, I'll pay you back. When she wrote the letter, she said, I'm sorry.
She did. I'm sorry, I'll pay you back everything.
But I wonder if she did. I mean, obviously she had the money, so I wonder if she ever paid them back.
She didn't pay them back. She could now when she saw that portrait,
But I think that probably at the time in which she was able to pay them back, right? So that would have been however many years later. I think it would have been easier for them to, like, she just left. Here's a note, bam, I'm gone, like a thief in the night. She straight ghosted them, right? But I think if she had paid them back, that they would have begun to like, okay, well, where are you? Let me see if we can track down where this money came from, and does anybody know where she is? Like that kind of thing.
And let's
Maybe
try
some of that was happening anyway. I don't know.
Because they thought she was the perfect surrogate anyway. They was like, well, let's try again. You know, you keep this, but let's have enough. Let's try again.
Right.
But yeah,
who knows? Now we speculating.
Yeah,
what it could have been.
Because there's so many questions. Because those were the biggest questions I had. Is like, did she pay them back?
Okay, so final. Do you feel like Mia is the mom? Do you feel like she really is Pearl's mother, as far as she had the right to take that baby?
No, because so either you're gonna pay the money back and they were gonna have joint custody, because it's still half his too. Like, that's, you don't get to just make that choice by yourself if the father is involved.
Yeah.
I mean, she basically kidnapped the baby and stole money. That's why she changed her name.
Yeah. All right, ladies. This was a wonderful, wonderful show. As everyone can hear and see, we loved it. So go watch it. Little fires everywhere. I'm going to read the book. Nikki, you gonna read the book with me?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the book. Yeah,
okay. Gonna listen to the book.
And am I the only one that noticed that Kimiko has her shoulder out yet again this week? Okay.
Okay, so she loves that.
Let me tell y'all, this Puerto Rican sun, I don't know what it is, but that tan is still in full effect. Can y'all see it?
We can see it. All right, ladies, that's gonna do it for this mini-sode of the LoveChat Podcast. I want to remind all of our listeners to please follow us on all social media platforms at the LoveChat Podcast. We're also on YouTube, so if you want to put faces to the name,
so she can't cut us
check
off.
us out, and don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Until next time.